Hello lovely people, it's Alex from Nintendo Life here, and welcome to the top 10 reasons to buy Nintendo in 2015. So that's 3DS and that's Wii U, so why should you buy them? Let's find out. At number 10 it's Majora's Mask 3D. Now, this is an excellent game. It was originally on the N64 and I played it when I was young. I absolutely loved it. It's a really interesting Zelda experience. It's not like the other Zeldas. It's very dark and mysterious and uses a lot of almost adult sort of themes, but still remains child-friendly in a way. Children just won't understand them. It's very complex and dark, and I can't say enough good about it. I really can't. If you need any more convincing, you can click an annotation about here. It'll take you to some gameplay footage from the lovely chaps at Game Explain. Number 9 is Amiibo. Now, Amiibo are these lovely little figures. I've just got Diddy Kong here. He's a cheeky little chappy. And these have near-field communication, for those that don't know, and so you can tap them on your gamepad and communicate with the game. It's almost like getting DLC, but getting a little figure out of it as well. But the interesting thing is that they work across multiple games. So even though I've just bought Diddy Kong here, he'll work on... Actually, he only works on Super Smash Bros. But I've also got a Kirby one, and he works on Super Smash Bros. He'll work in Kirby and the Rainbow Curse, and he also works in Mario Kart 8, and I'm sure he works in something else as well. Nintendo are bringing out more Amiibo all the time, and it's looking to be a really interesting avenue that Nintendo are taking, and I've got high expectations for what they're going to do. They're lovely little things. I love them to pieces, even though I was skeptical to begin with. I'll, admit that. And I think they're absolutely adorable. What more can you ask for? At number 8 is the Nintendo eShop, and that's for both 3DS and Wii U. And basically what the eShop is it's you can download games basically. That is the absolute bare bones of it. But we've got so many lovely games coming out in 2015. And if you don't like buying physical discs, you can just download them on the eShop. And there are also so many games coming out for the eShop that are exclusive. You know, they're indie games, or maybe not indie games, that aren't coming out on any other platforms, just the Wii U or the 3DS. For example, on the Wii U, we've got the excellent game Runbow, which is a 9-player multiplayer game. You heard me right, 9 players, so they're very clever chaps who've done that. And the eShop is just an absolute wealth of spectacular indie games. It sort of separates the wheat from the chaff, because you do get some less than enjoyable ones, shall we say, and you even get those on the Wii U and the 3DS, but there's a significantly smaller amount, and there are some fantastic games out there. You just got to try them. Number 7 is Retro Studios' unnamed project. We know basically nothing about this game, but if you know anything about Retro Studios, which you may do, you may not, then you'll know that they have basically made nothing but spectacular games. One example is Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze and its precursor Donkey Kong Country Returns. I meant to say them the other way around, but I mucked it up. You can click here, click this annotation here, and you'll be able to see some gameplay footage from the lovely chap Mr. Lee Garbett. The fact of the matter is we don't actually have to know anything about this to know it's going to be good. Retro are that spectacular. If you've played Metroid Prime, you'll know what I mean. Is it going to be a new Metroid game? I hope so. Number 6 is Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate. Now, I'm relatively new to the Monster Hunter game. I got into it about less than a year ago, but already I've been absolutely blown away with what I've seen from Monster Hunter 4. And the demo, of course, you can download the demo on the eShop now. It's for 3DS exclusively, and it looks like it's going to be one of the biggest games of the year. Monster Hunter has always had a huge following in Japan, equivalent to Pokemon or something similar to that, and it's starting to bleed over into the West a bit more, so why not be one of the people who starts enjoying it? It's an excellent game. Download the demo for free now if you like, if you know someone with a code. I've just remembered it's code-based. I tell you what, I'm going to put some codes in the comments sequentially. You can have them if you're from Europe, because that's where they'll work. Number 5 is Splatoon. Now, if you haven't heard of Splatoon, what are you doing with yourself? It's Nintendo's latest shooter. It's sort of a shooter. Basically, you run around as something called an Inkling, and you have to fire ink everywhere. Just everywhere. And that's pretty much the aim of the game, at least for the main multiplayer mode that they've shown off at E3 and EGX that I was at, where I got a chance to play it. And it's got some gyro controls, but they work really well. I'm not someone who really enjoys gyro controls, but these are just brilliant. All you use the right stick as well, and the gyro controls are really just for fine-tuning, getting that really precise aiming going. And it just works so well. There's also the extensive single-player experience that we've been promised, not to mention a host of other features that they haven't yet announced but have alluded to. The new 3DS and the new 3DS XL. You knew it was coming. Basically, Nintendo have announced that there's going to be a new 3DS. You got it from the title. And it's called the new 3DS, and there's also the new 3DS XL, which is a slightly larger version for people with bigger hands like me. And basically, it comes with a faster processor, it's got additional buttons and controls, and most importantly, at least from a visual standpoint, it's got face tracking, which doesn't sound very useful, but using the stereoscopic 3D, which displays two images at once, one into each eye, the original 3DS gave the illusion of 3D and it looked really good. But if you moved the console or moved your head, the illusion was broken. And so now they've got head tracking so that if you move it, it's still 3D, it adjusts. It's such a clever little idea. And there are all sorts of other fantastic features. I couldn't possibly name them all in a little short clip like this, but it's looking excellent. I really can't wait to get my hands on one. Number 3 is Xenoblade Chronicles X. Oh, this game just looks so gorgeous and huge. We still don't know a huge amount about it. It's a spiritual successor to Xenoblade Chronicles, which was an excellent game for the Wii. And I don't think that it's actually sort of follows on story-wise, which is why it's a spiritual successor, but it still looks fantastic. The combat's basically the same, and if the storyline is even half as good as in Xenoblade Chronicles, we're going to be in for such a treat. Seriously, Xenoblade Chronicles has one of the best storylines of any game I've ever played, hands down. It's emotional, it's vibrant, it's dynamic, it's an absolute triumph, and if they can do that again, Monolith Soft, you're going to make me a very, very happy man. Number 2 might surprise you, because it's a game that's already out, Super Smash Bros. For 3DS and Wii U. Now, yeah, this game's already out, but this game is absolutely stellar. I mean, if you've ever wanted to play Smash Bros. Online, now you can, and it works. It's not like Brawl, where there was all that latency. It's absolutely pinpoint precision, blisteringly fast, no lag unless you've got a bad connection, but then it sort of compensates. It doesn't, sort of muck up and people don't start warping. It's very nicely done. Enormous single-player experience with master orders and crazy orders. There's far too much to talk about. Go and look it up if you don't know about it yet, and if you don't know about it yet, wow, where have you been? And finally, number 1, it's got to be Zelda Wii U. Again, this is a game we know very little about, but you just have to look at it to realise what an experience and what a joy this is going to be. It promises to take all of the lovely Zelda gameplay that we already know, it's spicing it up a bit with some gyroscope controls, although I don't think they're mandatory, which is nice, and it's setting it in an enormous overworld. I mean, we think we know roughly how large it is, but it's comparable to games like Skyrim. This is going to be something absolutely phenomenal. Huge Legend of Zelda fan, and this is just... it's got me on tenterhooks. I just want to know all of the information, yet we know so little. But it's coming. It's coming this year. They've promised us it's coming this year. It's going to be good. So that was the top 10 reasons to buy Nintendo in 2015. You're going to get a new 3DS, or you're going to get an old 3DS at a significantly reduced price because they're really cheap now. Are you going to get a Wii U? Are you going to get all of them? Are you going to buy 7 Wii U's, line them up and take a big photograph of yourself surrounded by money? Let me know, leave a comment down below, and be sure to check out nintendolife.com for all sorts of lovely Nintendo related content. Thanks so much for watching, I'll see you in the next video, bye bye.